Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the RPG After Years, your weekly show covering all things RPGs from the past, present, and future. This is episode 62. I barely remember how to do this because I am Jay and I've been gone for a while.
And I'm Rich.
And I'm Sweet Scott.
Today we are doing another rendition of Create Your Own RPG. The last time we did this, it was a blast, so we've decided we're going to do it again.
Get hype.
But before we get to our main topic, we got to catch up and then cover some news. So let's hit us with that catch up. Since it's been so long since I've been around, I'm going to go first.
I don't even know who this guy is in here with us. I don't recognize him.
This feels weird. I'm in an empty room. I don't know what's going on. Our house is empty. We've been hit by robbers. We were robbed. Everything was stolen. Not really.
I was about to say, yeah, that's a joke, right?
Yeah, that's a joke. We randomly decided to sell our house last month, and with how crazy the market has been, it has been sold after some pains and some inconveniences. But we're in the process of getting everything moved out, which is maybe why I sound funny because I'm in an empty, echoey room. But all of our rooms are echoey at this point, and so Friday we're going to. So I guess technically the day after this episode releases, I'm going to be going to an Airbnb for like a month. I'm gonna get slapped with that last Pfizer shot, and then I'm gonna go stay in an Airbnb for a month, and then we're gonna move into the apartment complex that we used to be in. But yeah, that's been crazy.
Is the Airbnb nice?
It's a yes and no. Yes, in the fact that it's a really cool loft. No, it's like got brick walls and stuff, so it's pretty neat. But no, in the fact that it's a loft. There's no bedrooms.
So gotcha.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna get super close.
Yeah, we don't know how well it's going to go. It's going to either be a nightmare month, or we're gonna just be one big happy family afterwards. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the first one. But
yeah. Is the apartment that you're moving into, is it like the same exact layout as the one you used to live in, or is it different?
It's the same layout except reverse and up 2 more levels. So it's a 3rd level, which I'm pretty excited about because we always hated. We were on the floor level, ground level last time, and so every time we would hang out outside, people would be walking by and it'd be really awkward. So this time we're going to be lifted up a little bit, but yeah, otherwise same layout. So
awesome. Yeah, but this does mean it's going to be about 4 or 5 episodes before you're back on the show again.
It does.
Once again, we'll miss you. People will be like, Jay, who?
Exactly. I'm going to have the new factor back. I'm going to be the new guy again. But since I've been doing all this, I haven't done any intensive gaming, but I have done some gaming, and unfortunately, it's mostly been Mario. So I'm going to cover the Nintendo crap that I've been playing because my daughter is apparently a huge Mario fan now. So we have played and beaten Super Mario 3D.
Did you beat that last time? No, you were about to face Bowser, I think.
Yeah, we're about to face Bowser, I think.
There you go.
Thank you. We have played a good chunk of the new Super Mario Brothers. I hate it. I don't want to play that game. I usually
It's
just
not
end up
good.
playing as Nabbit and just OPing my way through it all because it's all too difficult.
Oh wow. Well, let me rephrase that. It's a good game, but it's just like kind of mediocre, I guess.
It's difficult. It's very hard for me. We have played and beaten Bowser's Fury.
I'll give you another one for that.
It's a good one. It took us just about as long as it took us to beat 3D World.
Interesting. I heard it's only like 5 or 6 hours long.
Well, I suck.
Oh,
I'm not very good at it.
I've actually
Uh,
not played it yet. So
it's good. It's really good. I had a lot of fun with it.
Corey and I are
We
slowly working our way through 3D World ourselves, and we'll do Bowser's Fury after that.
we have also played through and beaten Super Mario Odyssey,
Oh wow. Okay. Let me give
and
you.
we have also
It's the House of M over
yes.
there.
Thank you, Michael. Um, we have found Peach everywhere,
Nice.
like the post game stuff. But other
Did you
than
do
that,
the castle like that last kingdom that's supposed to be like a Mario 64 throwback?
we have not. I don't think we've unlocked that one yet.
Okay.
But Gracie probably will at some point. I'm over it. I don't feel like playing it anymore.
Well, what
Um,
did you think about it?
it was good. It is the best Mario game I've played, and is probably actually one of the better games that I've played. Period.
Okay, I'm glad you think so because I really love that game as well. It's probably in my top three like regular Mario games, not counting the RPGs.
So me and Gracie played it together most of the time, but she did a ton of the levels by herself entirely, which I thought was really impressive. Like everything, the boss battles, finding all the moons. She was able to get through three or four of them mid game by herself. But the rest we
Nice.
kind of just tackled together. She played Cappy and was really into it.
Before long, she's gonna be better at games than you, Rich. I mean, Jay.
I
And
mean, that's
Rich,
true. I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
it's true both.
Both.
Yes. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Super Smash. We've unlocked a ton of characters. Probably, I feel like at this point, we've unlocked all of them that we don't need to buy.
Awesome. That's cool.
Um, what else? A little bit of Trails in the Sky Part 2.
How is that going?
It's really good, but unfortunately, I've been so busy that I haven't been able. Like, I need to play that game in chunks of hours at a time, or else I'm like it's really difficult because it's kind of a slower game. But so if you don't have like 2 or 3 hours to put into it per session, then you're kind of done for. Um, what else have I played? I think I stopped playing um, World of Final Fantasy. I have not played that since then. But I think that might be it. A little bit of Breath of the Wild, but that's it.
Okay. Well, I mean, despite everything that you've been up to, it seems like you've still been getting a decent amount of gaming in. A little bit.
Yeah, only because Gracie.
Well, we can thank Gracie for keeping our hosts with something to report on this section.
She's also apparently converted this household into a Nintendo household because I've played and now I own more Mario games from the past 2 months. This has apparently been the craze more than I have in my entire life. So the past 2 months has been like Mario overload.
She's gonna go through the whole back catalog, make you play like the NES
I,
ones.
we're probably going to have to. I'm going to buy Sunshine and then Galaxy, and it's gonna keep going.
Well, you're in for a good time though. Then, Sunshine is my all-time favorite Mario, other than the RPGs. But anyway, I guess I'll go next, and as usual, I have way too much to report, so I'm just gonna try to speed around this. Um, been playing World of Final Fantasy, of course. Hit the checkpoint yesterday. Rich and I will talk more about that later. Of course, been playing Ring Fit Adventure. Corey and I have been playing the medium. By the way, last time I played Ring Fit Adventure, it kicked my ass. I was like a sweaty mess by the end. Uh, but anyway, Corey and I have been playing the medium on stream. I think the next time we play it, we're almost certainly going to finish it. So I'm excited about that to see how it ends. Corey's been playing Persona 5 Strikers. He just got past the Kyoto jail, and That part felt a lot more like Persona to me because I think we timed one of the cutscenes and it was like like almost an hour long.
Does he
Before,
like it?
yeah, he loves
Okay.
Persona. We both like the original game better, but he just loves that world and that universe so much that
Gotcha.
like he's digging Strikers as well. So I think we're like in the back half of it now. Yeah. We beat Resident. I can't remember if we announced this before, but we beat Resident Evil Revelations 2.
Nice.
However, we're tried to do the DLC episodes. That shit is hard.
Yeah, they're not very nice
Did
to
you
do.
try them?
I've tried them a long time ago. Remember, I've,
Okay.
I've beaten it. I've beaten this game before, just
Yeah.
not recently.
So one of the DLC episodes has you like it times you while you have to hunt like regular animals,
Hmm.
and that determines like how much time you have in the next section. And if you run out of time, then you lose all your progress. There's no saving. It's like Jesus Christ. Talk about unfair. Um, and then the other one, of course, you play as the little girl, and she's just defenseless, and that sucks. But yeah, eventually, Rich will finish that, and we'll do a bonus review of that as well.
Yep. At some point.
Rich, we did start The Evil Within.
I'm
Um,
sorry.
you were the one that told us to do it.
I know. I know.
Um, we went and visited Lauren over in Greenville, and we needed a game to play, so the three of us started that up. Um, the beginning
Initial
of it,
thoughts?
the beginning of it sucked. Like we were debating whether we even wanted to continue, but then once you like get into it, it's not terrible. It plays a lot like Resident Evil 4, which is a great game. It's just the story isn't there really. Um, but that we're gonna play that with Lauren, so we're waiting on her to get a PS5, so we can do the Sony cross. I forget what the technology is called, but it lets you like stream the game to a friend,
Oh,
and they can
play share?
control share play. There you go.
Sure, there,
That's what I
yeah,
was trying to think of.
I knew it was something like that.
You can't do it PS5 to PS4 though, so we have to wait for her to get a PS5, and of course it's still like ridiculously difficult to get
Yep.
one of those.
I also need to get a PS5 according to the news.
Why's that?
The well, we're gonna talk about it, but the Final
Oh,
Fantasy VII
oh, right.
idiocy.
Yeah. Um, we started Ace Attorney Dual Destinies, which is the fifth one in the main series. Really enjoying that. Got past the first couple of cases. And then I also finished out the Project Triangle strategy demo, which it took me a little bit to get into, but it's really cool, and I'm excited for that game to come out.
Are you
The,
definitely gonna get it?
I think so. The demo sold me on it. The only thing is, there was supposed to be three battles in the demo, and I only got through two. And it turns out that there's this decision you make that, I mean, the game tells you it's going to alter the course of the story, but it like you go into a totally
You
different
made the
storyline.
wrong choice.
It's not that I made the wrong choice. It's just that I want to see the other part too, and I would have to replay the whole thing to see the third battle. Um, the only thing I don't like about it is there's a lot of dialogue, like minutes and minutes and minutes of cutscenes between gameplay. So, um, but I'm sure when the full thing comes out and I see the story from the beginning, I'll probably appreciate that.
I played it. I played probably, I don't know, 5 minutes of it, and then I got distracted and didn't go back to it. But it makes me want to play Octopath Traveler despite not getting into that game. I feel like
Yeah.
I always like, oh man, that makes me really want to play Octopath. And then I start playing Octopath, I'm like, oh,
Oh yeah.
I
That's
don't
why I
want
don't
to
like this
play.
game.
Yeah.
We also started Subnautica on stream, and that game. At first, it was a little hard to get into, but then once I like got into the flow and figured out how you're actually supposed to play the game, I'm like really digging it. I really like the game, and when I'm not playing it, I'm kind of thinking about like, what am I gonna do next time I play Subnautica? Like, figure out what my game plan is, what materials I need to gather, that type of thing. Um, I finished my Final Fantasy VII Materia lockdown from 3 years ago. As in, I went and beat I'd already beaten it 3 years ago, but I wanted to beat the weapons, Ruby and Emerald, and I did. and that was my first time ever beating them, despite being a completionist and FF7 being one of my favorite games ever. So that felt like a big accomplishment. This happened Friday. I became the Pokemon League Galarian champion, so I did beat Pokemon Sword. Can't play. So I guess we all three of us are now Pokemon champions, right?
Is this your first time?
Yep.
First time ever.
I mean,
The
I've watched
Pokemon
Corey
champion.
play Shield, but and of course I beat Red, Blue, and Yellow back in the day. But overall, I liked it. There's definitely some sore points I have about the game, but it's a Pokemon game, and I enjoyed the journey. So I guess, Jay, when you get back, that is something we can actually review.
Holy smokes!
Wow.
Are you going to do the DLC?
Yeah, I'm gonna do the post game, and then I'm gonna move on to the DLC. And I figured that stuff could probably be a separate review later on. What was I gonna say? Have we ever all three of us been on a review?
Final Fantasy 7.
Yes.
Nier Automata.
And
Wild Arms.
Okay,
No,
so
Wild Arms.
Rich wasn't in Wild
Oh,
Arms.
right.
That was Bill. That was the other third.
Well, we
arguably
can't,
worse third.
Yeah, we can't bash them too much though, since you won't be able to do the WAF one. So,
Yes. I too am a failure, Rich. It's okay.
At least we own it. It's fine.
Here's another long-standing game in my backlog. This also happened earlier this week. I beat Final Fantasy 1. So that's been a game I've been playing on and off for like 3 years as well. Finally got through all the bonus dungeons and then made Chaos my bitch. He was so easy. So yeah, that means I can check that off. One of my resolutions is to beat every mainline FF. So there's one of them. So that just leaves two.
At this point, you're going to be 40 and you're going to have them all checked off.
My New Year's resolution is more like a decade-long resolution, but yeah. And then finally, I also started Lara Croft Go. That's a Tomb Raider mobile game. It's really fun and zen. It's more of a puzzle game than anything, but I'm enjoying it. One of the higher quality mobile games I've seen. ROB says, you beat FF1, but in 2,000 years, you'll have to beat it again. For those who don't know, FF1's story involves a 2,000-year time loop. So, no, I feel like it took me 2,000 years to beat it. Anyway, that's all I've been playing. I feel tired now. But Rich, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, mine's not as extensive as usual. So I obviously has been playing World of Final Fantasy.
You hit the checkpoint, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I hit the checkpoint. I haven't failed. Scott. So
Thank you, sir.
that's nice. Yes. I have been playing. This is for Jay. Trails of Cold Steel.
Well, guess what, buddy?
I know.
Trails. It's Trails.
I always get that backwards. I'm always doing
I even corrected it for you in the doc.
Yep. Trails.
So I need you to stop playing that and to go play Trails in the Sky.
I have it.
Because by the time you get to Trails of Cold Steel 3 and 4, you're going to be lost unless you play the other ones, because it's like watching one Captain America movie before going in and watching, Endgame and Infinity Wars. You just don't, you don't get all the superheroes coming together. That's like what Trails of Cold Steel 3 and 4 are, from my understanding. So you need to go learn about, you got to get the other superhero backstories before you get to the Avengers.
You're really asking Rich to finish 6 games?
Yes. It's a big task there.
It only took me 50 hours to beat the Trails in the Sky 1. You can do it.
All right, fine.
So wait, how are you enjoying Cold Steel?
I like it. I mean, it's definitely one of those games of you've got to, talk to people, and there's a lot of story, and yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Very slow, very, very slow.
It's a very slow burn. So I think I can get, like, I have it on my PC of In the Sky. So I'm thinking I can get it on my Vita because I like being able to move around and stuff. So I may just go get that since, Sony's deciding to keep the store now. So yeah.
I'm all
Thank
about
God.
Trails in the Sky. I love the characters in Trails in the Sky way more than I did whenever I was playing Cold Steel. So I'm pretty excited to actually review it.
Okay. So I'm going to do that today. I'm going to get that. And then the second game I've been playing is another Square Enix sleeper hit kind of way, is Outriders. And
Are you still into that?
I enjoy it. It's challenging in its way. I'm not a big fan of, how you're playing. I don't know if you guys ever played shooters and whatnot, and the enemies stay off in one side and you're trying to take them out. In Outriders, they don't do that. They come at you. Like, they'll leave their little covers to come at you and gang up on you. Like in a group. Like, you can't hang back. You've got to be really aggressive. So it was I enjoy it. I like it.
Okay. ROB says Trickster is OP in that game, and he likes it too. So
yeah, it is.
There's one thing I'm not seeing on here, Rich. There's no Resident Evil on here.
I didn't play Resident Evil.
You need to play it.
I know.
We're waiting on you.
I've already beaten them. I have beaten all of them.
I know. Years ago.
Yeah, I know. Yes,
all right,
Dad.
Is that it?
Yeah. I mean, really, that's all the games I have.
Okay. All right, well, moving on to some quick announcements before we hit up that news. The RPG Club is still ongoing. I believe we have 2 sections left now, so we're getting into the end game here. So for those that don't know, the RPG Club is a segment that we do every other week on this show where we go over one chunk of a game, an RPG, that we've played along with everybody else in our community on the show. And so the current game for that is World of Final Fantasy. The checkpoint is to complete Chapter 20, and that is due by Sunday, May 9th. So play along with us. It should be lots of fun, whether or not you enjoy the game. Even bad games are fun to play together because you get to just rag on it the whole time. So, and then one more announcement. The Materia Lockdown, which is the show's charity challenge created by Bill. For those that don't know what that is, basically you play Final Fantasy VII, a Twitter bot created by Jay assigns specific colors of materia that each of your characters is allowed to use. And it adds some much needed spice to a very easy game. And that all the benefits for that go towards the Motor Neuron Disease Association. That's ongoing. Like I said, I just finished my lockdown from 3 years ago. And that's going to end on June 26th. So you still got a couple months, so I urge you to go ahead and jump on in if you're interested in that. But that's it for the announcements.
So with that being said, let's move on to the news.
Let's.
Hear ye, gather round for all your news. Stop your clatter and listen close. Alas, you won't believe your ears. Listen close for the news.
Alrighty. So why don't you kick us off, Scott?
Okay. But before we do our first little news story here, I was interested, Jay, to get like your quick thoughts on a couple of the major news stories that you haven't been around for. The first of which is when we got that teaser trailer for Project Athia, which is now known as Forspoken.
Totally lit. I'm very excited for it. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be good.
Yeah, it looks great. I can't wait myself. And then the other thing is FF7 Intergrade and episode Yuffie.
Totally garbage. I hate it. I'm very upset about it.
Are you upset because it's PS5 or you got other reasons?
I'm upset because they're releasing another version of the game with more content than they originally had. And like, why didn't you just make it in the first place? Like, why are you doing this continued development that we don't need on a game? Like, that's time and resources that you should have put into maybe the next game or just included in the next game. Like, why? I don't know. Is it also going to be a DLC or do I have to buy the game again? I'm going to have to buy the game again because it's PS5.
No. The game is a free upgrade. And if you had the PS4 version. Uh, but I think Rich, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you do have to pay for the episode, the Yuffie.
I think if you got the free PS4 version of the game when it was the monthly service or that monthly PS4 game, you have to pay for the upgrade.
I'm gonna Google this.
Yeah, I think you have to pay for that.
I
Either
know,
way, this is a trope that Square Enix always follows with all of their games, and I don't like it.
just like releasing a complete version with DLC or
Yeah,
what?
it's like I want the game to be complete whenever you give it to me. Like I don't know
Gotcha.
that, especially if I know that there's going to be a sequel to this game. It's not like The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3 was the last in the series, and they just released some DLC to further flesh out that last segment of the series. But this is like they're in the progress of making a second game, where we were all expecting to be introduced to Yuffie anyway. Like, why does Yuffie even need to be like? Why is this even a thing?
Yeah. Well, that's one thing Rich and I talked about was it's at least with this DLC, we know that they have already figured out or made Yuffie fully playable, so it should make it that much easier. Like that part of the development for part 2 is done. And I imagine creating these new characters with the new fighting styles is probably one of the most intensive things they would have to do, given the assets that they already have from the first game. I don't know though. I'm excited for it because I already have a PS5, and I did just Google it. We do still have to pay for the Yuffie episode. What about
Grab on a chapter nobody wanted.
what about the fact that they're including content from Dirge of Cerberus with Vice, the main villain of that game, apparently being in this DLC?
I didn't catch any of that, and I've never beaten Dirge of Cerberus, so I have no opinion about it at the moment. But it
Okay.
sounds like garbage.
They're really going all out. It seems like they're including the whole compilation. So anyway, moving on to our actual news here. So Square Enix has opened, or they are going to open, a digital art gallery to commemorate 11 years of Nier and the launch of Nier Replicant, which, by the way, did come out this week. So have you taken a look at this, Jay or Rich?
Nope.
The artwork looks to me almost like they should be on playing cards. And it looks like there's like different artworks contributed from like different countries or something. Did you look into this at all, Jay?
Nope.
The artwork's pretty cool, and I think it's cool to have like a digital art gallery, I guess. I know that they had like a Yoshitaka Amano art gallery at one point that featured a lot of Final Fantasy work as well. So I guess it's good to commemorate the arts. But I don't really have anything else to say about that. Anybody that's interested can Google that and see what's up with all that. And speaking of Nier, we do have a couple more stories about that. So Rich and I spoke about this. You remember, Rich, how everybody was upset about the Steam version of Nier Automata getting review bombed because they came out with a PC version on the Windows Store that was much improved?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. So apparently after that, Square Enix has promised an upcoming patch to the Steam version that's supposed to fix all those issues. And we even talked about how Jay experienced these issues. Like you had to download a separate program to get it out of windowed mode or something like that, Jay. Is that right?
I think I was finally able to get it to expand, but there used to be some bugs about that. And in general, there were like some glitches in the like asset loading.
Yeah. I think I read that the PC version came out like 3 years ago, and they promised that they were going to release patches that addressed all of these issues, and then they just never did. So, I mean, it sucks that it had to come to review bombing to make that happen, but like also don't release a busted ass version of your game. But I guess overall, this is a net positive for people who want to play Automata on PC. And the final thing regarding all this, apparently Yoko Taro is working on a completely new game, which is, I mean, that's not really a surprise to anyone, but he's made some comments about it that he doesn't know. He said something like he doesn't know that it's a somewhat unusual game It's difficult to explain, and he has no idea how they're going to market it. So yes, it's going to be weird. It's surprising no one. Um, are you guys excited about a new Yoko Taro game?
Eh, I mean, I've only ever played Nier Automata. I don't even know what else they've made. So
What about have you bought Near Replicant? Yes.
not yet.
Or what about you, Rich?
Nope.
Okay, I pre-ordered it because it was getting pretty good reviews. Like, apparently the changes they've made to it make it a significantly better game than its original release. Will I love it? Probably not, because I didn't love Automata, but we'll see. I'm interested in it. Frost in the chat says, "Yeah, no thanks." We all know how much he loved Automata during the club, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes out of that brain of Yoko's.
So the next one that we have is something I'm excited for, and I'm pretty sure Jay's excited for this thing.
I'm excited for this thing.
Yes. So Tales of Arise launches September 10th with additional PS5 and Xbox Series releases with additional pre-order bonuses. So it's getting a lot of buzz online for it. It looks amazing. Some of the trailer stuff, I stayed away from a lot of the trailers to see some of the screenshots and some of the gameplay. But I really want that collector's bonus edition. I really want that, but I don't want to.
What all does it come with?
It comes with. I'm glad you asked that question, Scott. I'm glad. You get different. I think you get figurines. No, that's something different. Hold on. That's the deluxe edition. The collector's edition comes with, yes, a statue, steelbook, a art page, a soundtrack. So, and a lot of the other bonus digital content.
How much is it?
So, that looks to be about $180.
Oof. I just want the steelbook if I was to buy this, but
You could probably get steelbook somewhere. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. You got the pre-order bonus. Does not. Wait, does that come with a steelbook? No, that's only digital. That's
womp
lame.
womp.
Womp womp.
Well, let me ask you guys this: like, I didn't actually watch this trailer myself, but I heard a lot of buzz about it, and it seems like people are really excited about this game, much more so than the hype I've seen around Tales games in the past. And I was wondering if there's a particular reason why that is.
I would say
Probably because it's new gen.
yeah.
It seems like it has a lot more polish than I'm used to seeing from Tales. Is that right?
Yeah.
From
Okay.
what
Looks
looking
good.
at it compared to Trails of like Vesperia, it looks a lot better. It looks really good.
Nice.
Because even like Tales of Berseria and Tales of Zestria and Vesperia. Well, Vesperia looks really good. It's on the Switch though. But like Zestria and Berseria are like like they're subpar even for PS4 standards. Granted, I think one of them, I think they might have been a PS3 port, but still.
Gotcha. Maybe this would be a good entry point into the franchise for me. I think I also read that they introduced like dodging to the battle system with this one, which I mean I don't know anything about how the Tales games play, but
I think there are a lot of concerns about the battle system because Tales games have a very specific style of battle, and they're afraid that they're going to venture too far from it. And it's like, is it even a Tales game? Just an action RPG.
right. I guess we'll see, but so that's you said September 10th, right? That's not too long
Yep.
from now.
Nope.
Okay, well, cool.
Okay, sorry, I am on next. I thought Rich had one more. So next is a handful of Cyberpunk 2077 news. So the first one is saying that CD Projekt Red announced that, yeah, we've learned our lesson with all of this, which I would hope so. The article talks about how they are restructuring their marketing, restructuring everything. Their marketing specifically is going to focus on shorter periods of marketing that are less hype based. They also talk about how they're like the companies being restructured and they're like trying to work their way through mitigating what caused all of this like marketing mayhem that happened.
Do you believe them, Jay?
I believe them to an extent. I think that they are likely making changes, but they probably aren't as like, I don't know. It's not going to be like a 180. They're not like, it's still a corporation. There's no way it's just,
Yeah.
magically going to be like some amazing company now. So it's probably going to be like, okay, on the surface, we're going to be different, but like whenever you get
Yeah.
deeper down in, it's the exact same. They're going to put on a mask instead of, changing their whole outfit.
I just think it's funny because we've done 2 news episodes since you've been on, and in both of them we had like 4 or 5 articles about CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk. It's just like, wow, it's the gift that keeps on giving, news-wise.
So second, it was also officially announced that they've given over 30,000 refunds. And despite all of those refunds, they still sold 13.7 million copies in 2020, which basically makes it a huge financial success. So despite all of these issues happening, the 2020 was the best financial year the company has ever had. So if you're just looking at everything financially, ignoring the disasters, it was all very successful.
I think I also read that The Witcher 3 sold, like 2020 was its second best year of sales since it came out, and like it was like a huge number. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah,
So
it's pretty funny. But what's even crazier is that with all of this success, CD Projekt Red also has stated that Sony deciding to delist their game influenced sales in general. So like, since Sony took the game off of the Sony store, rightfully so, that their sales in general were lower because people didn't want to buy a game that wasn't on one of the main retailer stores.
yeah,
So I get it, but I also kind of feel like CD Projekt Red is like, yeah, well, if Sony wouldn't have taken our game off the market, then we would have done so much better.
I mean, yeah, obviously. And this number with the 30,000 refunds, to me, I'm not sure if that is like that. I can't figure out if that's a lot or if that's not as many as I would have expected.
I was expecting more, but at the same time, like I could have gotten a refund. I was like, I don't feel like messing with it. I haven't played it since like the 3rd day it came out.
Yeah, we haven't played it in a long time either. It just recently got a huge patch that is supposed to fix a lot, but it also introduced some new bugs, I think. So, yeah, I know Corey wants to keep playing it, but it's just like he's running into issues where like he'll go to a person that's supposed to give you a quest and they don't, things like that, and that makes him stop playing, which is understandable.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it seems like there was an article a couple weeks ago where they are going to start working on the sequel next year or something like that. So they're going to keep going with Cyberpunk, it seems, as one of their pillars, despite what happened here, which I guess good luck to them. I mean, it's a cool IP. It's just like, fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, what you going to do?
So I didn't know this was happening, by the way. I totally forgot about this. Amazon cancels its Lord of the Rings MMORPG.
I think everybody forgot they were working on that.
Yeah. I didn't know this was happening. So, yeah.
I didn't know what was happening either.
So, yeah, that's not happening anymore, guys. So if you were excited for it, apparently it was announced to it.
I thought they were working on a TV show.
They are. So, yeah.
And a game.
Yeah. Why don't we just not worry about this then? Because apparently it's what a big deal. Nobody knew. Disappointed by that. So if you still want to have Lord of the Rings and stuff, the TV series is happening. And there is a Gollum video game. The Lord of the Rings Gollum video game. Yeah, you're sneaking
a mobile game, like a mobile AR game. I bet you're just Gollum looking for a ring.
No,
I'll tell you,
one's
one thing
actually...
I have to wake up thinking every morning is I wish there was a game where I could play as Gollum.
You can. It's a PS5 game.
Oh, you're not the only one, Scott. You're not the only one. We all have.
So yeah,
I'm sure there were some people out there that were really hyped about this, but
all 7 of them.
I think it was because of a controversy between Amazon and Tencent, which, both evil companies, especially Tencent. But I guess maybe it's a good thing this isn't happening in that regard. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And God damn it, why do you do this? Every time Square Enix is preparing a new SaGa game, also
What's the
interested in
SaGa?
porting. Yeah, is also interested in
Final
porting
Fantasy Legends.
remaining titles. Son of a bitch! Why? Okay,
Can we get a sound drop of Bill saying that? Can you
I
go
need
back
one.
and like the
Maybe I'll get
episodes?
one.
Yes, I feel like we need one.
so okay. Is this a beloved series of SaGa? Yes. There's a lot of people that are like, "Oh my god, I love this." I don't know why. You people are insane.
Here's the more interesting thing to me, though. It seems like Square Enix is really pushing SaGa. Like, they're porting all the games in the series. They're making a new game now, apparently. Why is SaGa getting so much support? I can't imagine. I mean, I'm sure it makes money, but I can't
Cult
imagine
following. They want to
Yeah.
really get into that cult following.
Well, there's a bigger cult following, I think, in Chrono Cross and Chrono Trigger. Like that's, at least in my opinion, that's a more common name or common game title, at least that one. And then also your, oh hell, there's another one I forget too. But yeah, I guess I don't understand. Maybe it's more popular out in the East, and Diesel loves this game, and Bill loves this game, and there's a bunch of people that else love it. I just nope.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's just SaGa Frontier that you don't like. Maybe if you tried another one, you would get more into it.
Maybe. Okay, maybe.
And Square Enix really is sitting on like a pot of gold by not doing anything with Chrono Trigger. I don't know if there's like some kind of weird licensing issue or whatever, but
yeah,
they might be scared. They weren't too scared to like revamp Final Fantasy VII, which was like their biggest title.
Yeah, but how long did we have to beg for it? Like 5-8 years before they finally announced it?
Who the hell's begging for this crap?
Apparently a lot of people.
I mean, there was so much noise about Final Fantasy VII remake and getting that remastered and stuff like that for years. I don't think I've ever heard anybody saying, I want a SaGa game, besides Bill. So
Bill's very loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Bitch.
Leveled AF in the chat asks, how does the Lord of the Ring game mess with the New World release? But I don't know what he's talking about. Do you guys know what New World is?
I assume he's talking about the TV series. I don't think it has anything to do with it.
Oh, is it Lord of the Rings? Is that the name of the TV series they're developing?
Maybe.
He says Amazon's New World MMO. Oh, so I actually don't know anything about the New World.
No, I got that one. That's totally different. I think that's handled by somebody entirely different with Amazon. I don't think it has anything to do with it. Yeah, they're okay. That one's scheduled to release on in August of this year. So I don't think that has anything to do with that. From what I'm understanding on the other game for Lord of the Rings is that's more of a contract issue, like between the negotiation Tencent and Amazon. So that game wasn't even like, I would say, fully fleshed out for their MMO, whereas the New World, that one's pretty much done. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that.
I think his concern was more that like Amazon's track record on game development has been spotty at best. So let's hope so. But yeah, I guess that's it on SaGa.
Yeah.
Well, next, another thing nobody asked for, The Witcher Monster Slayer mobile AR game. So it's expected to launch in summer of 2021. And it's basically Pokemon Go, but instead of catching Pokemon, you're slaying the monsters from Witcher. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. I imagine I'll play it for like a second and then it's like, okay, I'm bored.
Can we get Geralt in a bathtub in AR? That's what I
I mean, what all are we getting out of this? I don't want to just like go around pointing my phone at things until I find a monster. You slay a monster and then you move on. Like, give me something. Like, hopefully there's going to be like a interesting story where you are a witcher and you got to go do some things and some stuff.
How about a scantily clad Yennefer in AR? That would be
dangerous.
They just pull the actors from the show. By the way, do we know when that season 2 is supposed to air?
I haven't been paying attention.
End of this year, I think.
Okay, I'm excited about that. All right, Jay, you're going to be in charge of trying that game out when it releases and telling us how awful it is.
Okay.
All right, so let's get to the RPGs released this last week. Atelier Mysterious Trilogy Deluxe Pack. All right. Switch, PS4, PC, April 22nd. We Are the Caretakers, PC, April 22nd, entering early access. Infinite Adventures, that's on the Switch for April 22nd. Near Replicant version 1.22474487139.
Good job.
PS4.
You didn't have to say all that.
I know. I just wanted to because I could do it. I can actually say numbers. PS4, Xbox One, PC, April 23rd. Judgment, that's PS5, Xbox Series S, or X and S. Stadia, weird, April 23rd. And then Death End Request. I think that's right. Switch, April 27th.
Nice.
All right, so
Judgment. What is Judgment? Do you guys know what Judgment is?
No idea.
That is I think that's set kind of close to the Yakuza games.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because I know they're doing like some kind of Judgment countdown on their website or something. So
yeah,
we'll see what that is. Anyway.
So RPG is releasing this coming week. There's a long list of one. Almighty Kill Your Gods, PC, May 5th, entering early access. It sounds dope.
That's an excellent title for an RPG. As we all know, we love to kill gods in our RPGs.
Any chance we get.
Right?
All right, so with all of that out of the way, let's take a quick break, and then we're going to move on to our main discussion.
Anybody actually need the break?
I do.
Yep. Okay. Run like the wind. Oh.
No, but my internet just started to crap out on me for a second.
Oh, really?
Hold tight. I lost Jay. Move your head, Scott. Move around.
I'm moving.
Can I see you move? Okay. It's taking it. It's delayed a little bit. Okay.
As long as our voices are still in sync.
Yeah, they're in sync a little bit. I just stopped talking for a moment.
Gotcha. Thanks for joining us today, Leveled. For those that don't know, in the stream, Leveled AF has his own stream that he does, and he's very talented.
Stupid internet
content creator. I thought you were calling him stupid. I was like, what the hell? Oh no, now it's just me. Okay, time to assume Stream Scott mode, where I just endlessly talk and babble for minutes and minutes and hours at a time. Anyway, I think it's actually pretty funny because I went into Leveled stream one day, and he didn't, as Scott, and I can't remember how we figured it out, but we figured out that he already listens to the RPG After Years without knowing who I was. So it's like, wow, small world. Did the Ring Fit kick your ass close to the COVID shot? No, because my COVID shot was like several weeks ago. And I'm actually getting my round 2 this week on Wednesday. Yeah, super small world for sure. So I'm excited about that, but of course the second shot is the one that's supposed to fuck you up. So hopefully it's not too bad for me. I literally just got over a bit of a cold, I guess. Are you back, Rich?
I think so.
Seeing any more issues or anything?
No, it just kind of glitched out a little bit. Yeah, I wasn't calling Level stupid. Stupid internet.
Yeah. We were just talking about how I was talking about how I went into Leveled's stream and I figured out that he listens to the RPG After Years without like even knowing who I was. So it was like, nice. Small world.
Nice. We all can agree that Scott is the superstar of the RPG After Years. We're just gonna throw it out there.
No,
he's the face of it. He's the face of it.
Are
I'm
you
the work-
talking about me again?
Yeah.
You're just the biker looking dude of the group. Yeah.
The beard is getting quite full there, I will admit.
It is. I'm feeling more and more confident about it every day. Because there was
Nice.
a little period of time I was like, oh my god, it looks so bad. It's so
That
scraggly. But
awkward phase.
now I'm starting to like get enough to where it has a nice like part right here in the middle. Because
Nice.
I have a butt chin, I have a dimple in the middle of my chin, and so no hair grows in the dimple. And so it gets a little
I,
painful.
We need to get you a leather jacket, some patches, and we
Oh.
can.
Let's get his
Urgh.
tat-
There. Oh
Get
yeah,
a
you
tat.
did get a tattoo. It looks cool. I like it.
I
hoping to
also
get
have my
mine
next
soon.
one planned out for summer. It's going to be a huge one on my right arm. It's going to be Cthulhu and some
Yes.
lyrics right above it. It's going to be very metal.
Nice.
Is
I'm
there a
too scared
particular
to
reason why
write a
you went for
motor-
Cthulhu?
Because A, Cthulhu is awesome, but B, it's mostly influenced by my love of the metal band, the Black Dahlia Murder.
Ah,
So
gotcha.
I'm like dedicating my entire right arm to music, and then my left arm is going to be like other like anime. I'm going to get some anime tattoos and stuff.
Sweet.
Scott,
Mrs.
where's your
Dizzy sent
tattoos?
me. What?
Where's your tattoos at?
Mrs. Dizzy actually sent me a draft of it last week, so she's gonna get
Nice.
like a full version hopefully soon, and then there's nothing stopping me from getting it. The only thing is, like, I'm about to move to Florida, and I won't be able to go out in the sun. So, what you gonna do? Worth it,
Well, you got to get it now.
Yep.
right? So, are you guys good to go?
Let's
Good
do
to go.
this.
All right, let's jump in.
All righty. So let's get on to our main discussion.
What are we talking about today, Jay?
Today, we are going to be creating our own RPG again. So this is going to be the second IP in the RPG After Years imaginary games. So the last time we did this, we created, I can't even remember what the game was called. It was like some crazy futuristic, game where everything was terraformed into islands, and we had Swiss Island and all kinds of fun bits.
One of my favorite episodes that we've done, for sure.
We certainly had a lot of fun with it. So we're going to do it again. So in a second, I'm going to drop a new setting and then like a new premise, and then we're going to work together to discuss and make decisions about this game. So forewarning, I have only thought of the premise because everything else is going to be ad hoc. We're going to come up with it on the spot. So you
And
guys,
for reference, real quick before you jump in, the first time we did this was episode 10 back in April last year. So I think we're probably going to try to turn this into an annual tradition.
yeah, it's been about a year. So cool. So you guys ready? You so
Yep.
ready for this? All right. So the setting, I decided to go with this particular setting because I recently have started getting into ethical hacking. So I recently, for my work specifically, I was on like a hacking team where we did something called Capture the Flag, where you have to essentially hack all these different servers that are owned by the company that was hosting the tournament. And it was really cool, and I had a lot of fun. But it reminded me of games like Dot Hack, and like there are plenty of other games and anime TV shows that are centered around like, oh man, we're like in a video game. So I'm going to roll with that. So
I was
the
about to ask,
setting
are we just going to be doing dot hack today?
similar. So the setting is that we are either very far into the future or not so far into the future, but for some reason we have a very specific technology that is way more advanced than anything else that's existing. So like 5 years in the future, but for some reason, billions and trillions of dollars have been poured into AR video games, or we're like 100 years in the future and normal progression.
Okay.
So what are you guys feeling? 5 years, and for some reason, video games have oddly advanced farther than everything else.
Well, it would make
Okay.
more sense if it was 100 or whatever, right?
What do you think, Rich?
Let's just do 20 years in the future. I think 20 years is good.
A
20
compromise.
years, Elon Musk has really revolutionized the gaming industry. He got bored
Yes.
with rockets.
You mean
I think it
Emperor
may be-
Musk at this
I was
point?
Emperor Musk. Oh my God.
gonna say the kid that they had.
What's her name?
Oh.
The Alpha Epsilon something Eon Flux.
Yeah. The child finally grew up into its alien heritage and created this.
Excellent.
We all know. Yeah.
So is this going to
okay.
be like
This is
the
now
real world?
this is now canon. The child of Elon Musk has gone on to revolutionize the. You're automatically putting this person in the villains. You're right. So Elon Musk's child has gone on to revolutionize the world. We are, like the last game, we are now sitting in a one world order. So there's one government, and Emperor Epsilon is now the leader of this government.
Okay.
And
So this is
the
still
world-
Earth then, for sure.
this is still Earth for sure.
Okay.
And everything has changed with how the world is ran. Everything has been automated with artificial intelligence. The people can, augment their body with technology, but not in the cyberpunk
I was gonna say, are we in
2077 way.
cyberpunk territory now?
We're not, because it's not even going to be that cool or that advanced.
Okay.
The only thing that has really blown out of the water of being revolutionized is virtual reality, and that's the only thing that we're able to really augment. Like, you're able to essentially connect your brain to this virtual reality, and it's very
So that's kind of
very
like
matrixy.
yeah,
I'm
Matrix
thinking-
or what's the thing that's like an '80s reference? Ready Player One. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. So I would say it's more like the Matrix than it is Ready Player One. So, the machines and everything. So the world is no longer necessarily run as normal. Like most like social gatherings are done through this Matrix-like virtual thing. Like, I mean, there's people you can create worlds of video games. Like, you can just do regular work, but in a virtual reality setting. But it's
He
still
wants to know
like
if we could still keep Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves would probably still be alive at this point. Yes.
Okay.
But so all seems good and well, except it's very like nobody necessarily hates the way that life has changed gradually over the last 20 years. But a lot of people aren't necessarily for it because, of course, it's America, and everybody hates this one world government thing.
Okay.
So in comes our group of like hacker people. So it's just a small group that have decided that they want to really start pushing the boundaries and diving deeper into the system that Emperor Epsilon has created and funded. Not initially a resistance. You put hacker resistance, and I would say they start out as a like hacker explorers, not a resistance, just explorers. Like, they're just a group of people that like poking into the systems. and they uncover something that they have decided to then push them into, you know, revolution territory. So they
What,
get
what do
targeted.
we think that thing is that they would discover?
That's for
That,
us
that
to
the
decide.
the child is an alien.
The-
That's maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. What else? So I'm thinking that they discover this piece, this secret, just while on some hacking. Like they find an exploit on one of the servers hosting some video game world that lets them tunnel into like the some server that has like a ton of documents or information regarding something.
okay.
So alien is possible. It turns out that Musk actually either reproduced with an alien or decided to adopt an alien, found an alien on one of his space adventures, and just rolled with it.
And Grimes isn't the real mother.
But she is.
Oh,
There is no mother.
She's a robot that had to house the baby inside of her.
Grimes is a robot. What if the thing that they find is like a plan, like some kind of document drafted up from like 30 or 40 years ago by Musk, where he is going to create an alien empire by raising this child to be the chosen one to rule this one world government or something like that.
That's
Okay.
possible.
Yeah.
And so with that, does this imply the existence of like other alien colonies?
Huh? Do we want to go that far? Well, I guess if Epsilon is an alien, then there would have to be, unless it was genetically engineered, or then
That's giving me like Goku vibes, like like the Saiyans send one of their children to a planet in order to take over that planet. Like I can get down with that.
Okay, we're getting somewhere now.
And Elon Musk the whole time was just a puppet. It was a baby mind control.
Oh, that works. So what about our main characters? Like, who is our main character? I guess.
Ryan.
The only thing we know is that it's a ragtag group of hacker punks. That's all I got so far.
Okay.
So main character, male or female?
What did we do? The main character of the last game we did was a male, right? So
Yeah, so let's
It
do
was.
one.
we can
Let's
do a
do a woman
female.
this time.
Okay. What is she gonna be like? Is she like just a badass chick, or is she like, does she start out all innocent and just really into hacking, or
Have you guys seen Silicon Valley?
I've seen some of
No.
it. The first few episodes.
There is a female engineer there that is like, she's hilarious, and I cannot remember that. That's how I'm imagining her.
Is she part of the main cast?
She is for like a few episodes. They temporarily hire her, and then everything falls apart. In the show, her name's Clara Walton.
Clara. Let me Google her. Silicon
my
Valley. Clara. Wait, did you say that's your name of your wife?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Carla. It's Carla.
Carla.
Let's do that instead. So let's not name anything after her.
I'm looking up. Oh, there's a Silicon Valley wiki, just like there is on everything. Okay, so you're thinking like she's got like blue, long blonde hair that kind of like droops over her eyes, like a one long bang. Looks like the tips of it are blue, kind of. It's hard to tell from this picture. I'm getting very Judy from Cyberpunk vibes from her.
I would say it's probably similar attitude, like a no
Okay.
nonsense, like don't put up with anything.
Yeah. Do we want to name her Clara, or do we want to come up with a new name? Or Carla, or whatever.
I like Carla. Let's go with Carla for now.
Okay. So
Not Clara. I won't
she's
do
just a
that to her.
badass, no nonsense hacker chick, and she is part of this resistance group, or not resistance, but enthusiast group, but decides to do something once they find this document, and eventually.
She's the initial one that discovers the exploit. So let's say that in the typical the typical way people like connect to the systems is with their minds, and this group of enthusiasts have found a way to create like an interface for their machines to make the to basically like uh, make the system that we would hook ourselves up to think that their computers were humans. Because let's say the system was engineered to only accept like the like a cranial interface, but they've developed some way to like say like hooked into my laptop, and now the system thinks that my laptop is a human, and I can, you know, like send commands or do whatever as if the laptop were a human. And that's how they were able to like hack their way in through that. So they themselves aren't really down with hooking their own brains up to the system. So they use their hacking machines instead. I'm kind of just imagining like regular laptops.
Okay, so we have a basic setup, and we have a main character and a villain. So maybe we should talk about gameplay before we establish the rest of the cast.
Can I make one small person to the character?
Sure.
I want an old man Ryan Reynolds.
Well, somebody like Ryan Reynolds, or like...
I want old man Ryan Reynolds. Like
Okay, well, let's say that so these hacker enthusiasts end up getting recruited by the actual like the actual resistance. So the resistance is able to catch on, like they're able to tell that somebody probed this system, and they're like, oh my God, these people are good. We need to find them. And Ryan Reynolds is the leader of that group.
old man Ryan
Old
Reynolds.
man Reynolds.
I just want that. Sorry.
What
They
if
just call him Ryan.
what if Paul Rudd is in there, but he looks exactly the same,
Yeah, I mean that's fine.
as he probably will in 20 years?
Yeah. They're partners.
How about Paul? So old man Reynolds is the leader, and old man Paul Rudd, who does not look old, is like the person who ends up being like their like the one who's like constantly talking with them, like no, go left, that's where they are. You know?
Okay, so like a spotter kind of deal.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. I just wanted, because the whole time we talked about this like a couple days ago, I'm like, I have to put them in there. I have ideas for those two. Paul Rudd only for Bill because it pisses him off.
I love Paul Rudd.
When we did the first game, didn't we, or the first game that we made up, didn't we just say it was going to be a strategy RPG?
Mm-hmm.
Remembering that right?
Yeah. So this time, I'm having a hard time thinking of what it could be, because I want there to be a lot of like legitimate, like hacker, like nuances with the battle style. I mean, because you have to like, you know, scan servers for open ports. You have to check for exploits and vulnerabilities, and all these different kind of things that you like do on your computer to try and figure out how to get access to these servers, or basically the entire purpose of whenever you're hacking is to eventually get like root control of the server that you're trying to hack. And there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can do that. So
The only thing
I'm
is
thinking,
you have to find a way to make that fun.
yeah, yes, you would. And so I'm kind of feeling something that would be like active turn-based, or like Final Fantasy 13-esque.
Okay, I dig that.
And it is going to end up being like supporting moves, like supporting characters, or like running the scans while the other people are, you know, doing targeted attacks. I'm trying
Maybe
to
like
think.
each character has a specialty, as in like how they hack.
Yeah, like this is the person who can find the exploits, like the weaknesses a lot easier. And I'm imagining that most of the battle has to happen in the virtual world, like the augmented reality world. And since the characters aren't directly connected into them, they have avatars that represent them in these battles.
So maybe there's like a human version of the character, but they also have like their avatar or whatever in the virtual world.
Yeah.
Do we want to make that just like in the virtual world they have like their own? They have a different like cooler appearance, or is it like a separate character type deal?
So let's say that the main player, like the person who's actually playing the game, gets to change the appearances indefinitely. So they're just like avatars.
Okay, I like that. Um,
And let's say there are even missions where you have to completely change your avatar because let's say like admins in this virtual world are expecting the way like the avatars look in the virtual world to be exactly how they are in the real world because you're only supposed to be able to use this system through like a brain interface whenever this hackers group have customized a way to change that.
what if when
And
you were hacking, you went to a separate mode where you control a little plane and it's like an asteroids type mini game?
Get out of here. No.
I'm just kidding.
I want to, and
I
then
don't want there to be any mini games.
no fishing,
No
and no
fishing.
photo mode. The Ryan Reynolds character, when he gets into the game, he just turns into a younger version of himself.
Oh, that makes sense.
He's not old in this one. And Paul
All
Rudd just
right,
stays the
just turns into himself. It's just
Yeah.
the same.
He just turns into Deadpool.
That would be funny. Also, a good way to get sued.
Yeah. Well, we're already well on our way here with everything else we've come up with so far.
Yeah. I'm not
Um,
replacing anybody's name.
Right, right. All right, so maybe by coming up with the supporting characters here, that will also help us figure out how each character hacks and how that would work gameplay wise.
And I think they also need to have hacker names, like because it's very common for there to be a hacker group like Anonymous and like all these other hacker name groups, and then also have aliases for people in them, like not legal aliases, just something so they're not using their real name.
ROB says there's your DLC market right there. You can sell pre-made previous game skins for the avatars. Brilliant.
Yeah, there we go. So the first supporting character that I'm coming up with, his alias is called Neckbeard. He's Neckbeard.
like
And
Is he
but
part of the resistance or part of this
He- he-
enthusiast group?
he's part of the enthusiast group.
Okay.
And he's not a neckbeard at all. He's like a very fit, completely bald guy with like a little bit of stubble.
Okay.
Most stereotypical neckbeard, like big fat ponytail, you can only grow like a certain area of facial hair, and this is just like a really good looking dude with super fit and just keeps himself nice and clean.
What's his real world?
What should his real name be?
Steven.
How
Saitama? No, that's what I was thinking of when you.
That's funny. How about just a Michael? I'm picturing him as just a regular Michael.
Okay.
What do you got, Rich? Who's the next character?
All right, so I'm gonna pick a guy that really loves Mortal Kombat. I want his name to be Striker.
Okay.
Backslash. That said Mortal Kombat. Backslash.
Wait, his code name is backslash?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
He's just making Mortal Kombat references the whole time.
Yeah, he just makes Mortal Kombat references the whole time. He's an Australian. Trying to think of the name.
I don't know if my mic is picking up all the keyboarding, but for those listening, if it's me taking notes on what we're coming up with here. So
What's a stereotypical Australian name? I have no idea.
Well, let's go off the wall there. Let's call him Gus.
Yeah.
why do I feel like you came up with a Gus last time? Am I misremembering that, or
I don't think so.
We can go Oliver, William, Jack, Noah, James, Thomas, Lucas, Isaac.
when I think Australian names, the first thing that comes to my mind is like Nate or Nathan.
We'll do
Oh,
Gus
wow.
because Gus is a Greek name generally.
Okay.
So that's why it's going to be all crazy. Because he's an Australian, loves Mortal Kombat. His name's Backslash.
ROB says Dundee.
Dundee. That doesn't give it away. I wonder where this
Okay.
person's from.
All
We
right.
have to have some like non-white dude representation in here, so we need to throw in a black character.
Okay. Well, how about like a black chick, and she's like got like sort of a spunky, like hyperactive type attitude, and her combat style is like less hacking and more like just blowing shit up. Because that's one way to hack, right?
Yeah.
It is, yeah. Brute force. She's the brute force specialist.
What do we want her name to be, though? Something explodey, probably.
Dropbox.
Dropbox.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because she drop boxes explosions into the data structures.
I feel like Dropbox is a good name for somebody who is also like the one who's responsible for all the storage.
Oh, that could be the robot butler.
The
We'll just
robot.
call him- we'll just call him-
Robot Butler Dropbox.
yeah.
We're getting sued.
Robot butler. Okay.
He's the inventory manager for the Avatar world. So, but go back to the other chick though. Let's think of that one.
Something with bombs.
What's a good-
Minesweeper.
Ooh, there you go.
That's a cool one, actually. Although technically a minesweeper would be removing mines, but it works.
She's just very bad at her job. In that sense,
Yes.
she just blows stuff up.
And what do we want her real world name to be? I don't know
follow
why.
a lot of black engineers on my Twitter, so I wish I had it open.
Do you
How
want
will you? I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna go find some.
Okay. So let's come up with. I think we have like a decent cast of characters here because we also have Keanu here.
Because why not?
Right. And what's his VR character?
Neo.
Johnny Silverhand? No.
No, Neo.
Neo? I think that's a little too on the nose.
Yeah, but they wouldn't expect him.
Neo Silverhand?
Yes.
So one of the black female engineers that I follow on Twitter, who's really awesome to follow, her name is Joe. Let's go with Joe.
Okay. Let me put that in here. And so what's Neo's hacker specialty going to be?
I'd say that's more of like the like commander style. And let's see, what could this person do? Kind of, I would say similar to like status boosting. Like you have a lot of like basic attacks, but the special attacks like help increase the likelihood of like something or like critical hits and stuff like that.
Okay. That works. Do we need any more, or should we stop there? We've got what, like 5 main characters, and then some support characters like old Ryan Reynolds and Paul Rudd.
I think that sounds good for now.
Okay. Can we get like a
We're
little
probably
bit?
only going to go like three people, 3-person teams.
Yeah.
Like it.
So, do we want to like hammer out a little bit more like how the gameplay actually works? We talked about an FF13 style battle system. Each character has their own specialty kind of deal. How does the
I would say that you can go back and forth between the real world and the fake world, like a log out system. So you're able to, there's a little bit of inspiration from like later Assassin's Creed games, where like in the later Assassin's Creed games, you can exit the animus and like goof around. But I'd like that to be a little more fleshed out, because at some point they're going to have to like later in the game, whenever they're found out, they're going to have to like be in the real world, escaping the military forces or like the agents who are coming for the hackers and coming to raid their stuff. So there needs to be, I'm thinking that whenever you're in the real world, that there is combat, but it's like an action, like just punching, like, kind of, I would say like, maybe The Last of Us style combat, except probably not a whole lot of guns, because these are just hacker people that don't know how to use guns, except Keanu can obviously use guns, and Ryan Reynolds can use guns.
Right.
But like later in the game, whenever it starts to exit the virtual world and enter into the real world, it takes on like an action RPG or like a third person shooter RPG style of gameplay. But whenever you're logged into the virtual world, which is through like your laptop and whatever base you're at, you're able to like choose different servers to go to. So there are like video game servers where somebody's like, oh, this is a fantasy world. Follows a lot of like fantasy tropes, like, oh, this is like a futuristic world. It follows a lot of like the futuristic tropes. So I would say kind of like Kingdom Hearts-esque, except not awful, where you have these different worlds that are like following these different like what people would create in video games, or like kind of like Roblox, except not awful. But then like certain missions require you to go to specific worlds, and in those worlds, it is all like 3D, like Final Fantasy 13, I would say. So like it's kind of the worlds are kind of on rails, but in an open way, like not the first half of Final Fantasy 13.
I got what you mean. I like that. So what else do we need to like hammer out here? We kind of need to wrap up pretty soon. Running long on time now, but do we want to incorporate a robot Bill again?
Yeah,
like last time.
Robot, that's the butler.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
It's gotta have a
top.
Okay, he's just not a villain this time. There we go.
Yeah.
All
We'll
right,
just call it Bill Box.
Bill.
Ooh,
Box.
there you go.
That would give away his real name though. Do we want any other villains other than Emperor Eon, whatever?
I think that there's probably going to be a handful of different villains, like the Vice Emperor,
Jeff
And-
Bezos.
Hmm.
No, Jeff Bezos at this point is just like a consultant, like he's a chair. He's a chair on the board. Like
At this point.
there's an entire board of people who run really big corporations. So like we have the emperor, but then around the emperor is a board of executives, because like the government, the world has become so corporatized under this alien leadership. And since the corporations had the majority of the resources available, that's who's like been rocketed up to this planetary leadership. So we would have a whole board of like villains per se, when really they're just like CEOs of these huge corporations. And the goal of the hacker group is to slowly dismantle each one of those corporations, like the resistance, at least, to like slowly dismantle each corporation, so that they can eventually, free up resources, give the resources back. Socialist agenda.
Gotcha. Well, I think we have a pretty a decent setup here. What do you guys
Like
think?
it.
I'm into it. I'm so sad that these never become reality.
What if we pitch it to Ryan Reynolds? Like, hey, by the way,
This is
I
for
mean,
you, man.
yeah, we did this.
He funds it.
Yeah.
Here's 500 words describing this video game that we want you to make.
He'll do it.
Or
Hey.
use your money.
Hey, he owns my my cell service provider, and I got a Christmas card from him. So, yeah. Let's see. I really like. Well, there's one big missing thing here. We need a title, right?
Oh God.
It can't be. I feel like if you had the word hack in it, it's going to be too close to dot hack. It's also funny that we brought all this up because I just finished watching like the first 3 Terminator movies. I've been on a Terminator kick because I've never seen any before.
I would call it root access.
Root
Ooh.
access. I kind of like that.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I think we have a game here, fellas.
Ghost in the shell? Oh wait.
Oh wait,
I feel like that's been done.
maybe.
You know, it took me so long to figure out what that even meant. Like I'm a tech person, like ghost in the shell. Okay.
Wait, what does it mean?
Like a shell, like it's a computer thing.
Oh, okay. See, I always think of those spider robots that they use.
When,
Um,
when this episode releases, I'm gonna tag Ryan Reynolds in it.
oh Jesus, please don't. Yeah.
I'm gonna do
So
it.
that'll be our tentative title. We might be able to come up with something better. But yeah, once again, that was fun. Uh, Not
It
sure I
was
like it
very fun.
quite as much as our original idea, but both are could be very good games. Let's do a
The first
game
one
jam.
is hard to beat. Swiss Island. Come
Yeah.
on.
We're gonna need a JS to make this for us. So hopefully he listens to this. Anything else we want to say or need to hammer out about it?
No, it's pretty good.
Okay. Well, good job, fellas. We should be paid for this type of thing. Just
I feel like we'd be good what is it, writers.
yeah.
Yeah.
If only we had like a virtual whiteboard or whatever.
Yeah. Well, consider the fact that everybody else now is just doing a bunch of freaking remakes and remasters, no real original stuff. Whereas we're pumping them out.
Hey, in
Whenever
10
I'm
years-
rich, hey, when I'm rich in 10 years and I retire, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
And we have it noted down here, so it's now set in stone. But yeah, I guess that's it for the main discussion here. I'm looking forward to doing this again next year. So
Always fun. We're gonna by the time we actually are all like rich enough and have enough time to actually make a game, we're gonna have like 17 different games that we can make. We're gonna be like, yes.
yeah, we just start a company and crank all these out. I think Jay, whenever you're back from your mini escapades of moving home and stuff, it will be due for a resolution check-in episode. So
Oh no.
I had the same thought. I'm not doing too well this year either, but we'll leave that there. So next, Rich and I are going to move on to the RPG club, but I guess we need to say goodbye to Jay first.
I will leave after you play the musical interlude.
All right, sounds good. Goodbye, Jay. Let's go ahead and get out of this section.
More metal albums need to be made into arcade versions.
I was
Love it.
wondering what the hell this was. I mean, it's good, but
I love it. All right, I'm leaving, guys. Have fun.
bye,
And
Jay.
not fun.
Enjoy your Sunday. Okay, Rich, you ready to convene the RPG club here?
Let's do this.
Okay.
All right, everyone, quiet down. All rise. We're here today to bring to order the next session of the RPG Club. All in favor? All opposed? And looks like the ayes have it. Then let the RPG Club commence!
Okay, so for those that don't know, our goal this time was to complete Chapter 17 in World of Final Fantasy. And let's see, where do we start here? I guess where we left off. What happened last time? Chapter 14, that was, they were at the bottom of the prison, and they got saved from the Magitech armor by Squall. And he doesn't show up again in this section, spoiler alert,
Nope.
so I guess he's dead.
He gone.
Yeah. So we got chapter 15, 16, 17, which is, of course, the Mako Reactor, and then Figaro Castle, and then the Big Bridge, and then the Library of the Ancients, and then the Train Graveyard. So, without going into too much detail right off the bat, how did you feel about this section in general, Rich?
Just a lot of filler. I don't really.
Yeah,
I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling the story.
really feeling it. That should be a drop.
No. Yeah.
Um,
I
well,
don't know.
It feels like each little section feels like a filler episode of an anime, I guess you could say, where like you could take out the entire story of what happened in that part and it wouldn't really change anything.
Correct.
I mean, the key takeaways are that we get a couple more of the four keys in this section, and that's really all that it matters when it comes down to it. And we've complained about this before, but like because the Final Fantasy characters are more or less just cameos. It kind of ends up being like, here's the episode about this character, and then they're never going to be back again. So it feels kind of like a letdown, I guess. But oh well, what you gonna do? The I don't know. I guess we can just dive in here. So
Yeah.
chapter 15, the Mako reactor and the Black Mages. And do you want to go cover this one, Rich?
Yeah. So right when you get finished with the battle with where Squall sacrifices himself or whatever, takes off, you meet up with Shillik.
Shilk.
Shilk, as you guys know, is from Church of Cerberus.
Deep
Final
cut.
Fantasy
I was
VII.
very surprised to see her.
Yeah, I was a little too when you said you're going to be surprised. I'm like, how bad? And then she shows up. I'm like, okay, well, that would make sense because they're technically near a Mako reactor deep underground of Figaro Castle.
Mm-hmm.
So why not?
I'm
Oh,
a secret fan of Dirge of Cerberus, so I was excited to see her.
yeah. So your base, she basically uses counter tech to ability to remove the seals off you, so you're able to use your power. So it's nice to have full access to that. You make your way through to the Mako reactor. At the point, obviously, a countdown triggers, which is a callback to Final Fantasy VII. When you
What did you
set the
think of
bomb
this dungeon, Mako
Eh.
Reactor Zero?
It was all right. I mean, it's a nice little I'm finding it's very nostalgic driven, where you see a lot of these areas like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like I know this area. Yeah, I know this where this part is. It's great.
I didn't like when the countdown part starts up and then like you have to sort of go through the entire dungeon again. Like if I didn't have a guide, I feel like I would have gotten lost.
Yeah, yeah. So the next thing you have to do is you have to fight a bunch of black mages. And incidentally enough, there's one other black mage that you may recognize as a series favorite.
It's Vivi.
Vivi, yes. It's nice to see little Vivi there after you try to fight him. And you take out the other mages, and then Vivi comes to his senses, and he convinces the other black mages to charge the reactor, allowing Figaro Castle to pull free from the Federation chain. So basically, these chains can be with enough force, can be broken. Which is
I was
great.
surprised. It's like two big drill airships attach themselves to the side of the castle, and it looked really cool. But that's not how it worked in 6. But
Yeah.
I guess it made for a cool cinematic scene.
Yeah. So once that's done, you get back to the top. Edgar explains the whole plan to everybody. Lightning is okay. She was part of it. And then
So I guess
Vivi
lightning
shows up.
allowed them to be poisoned.
Yeah, she did. She's like, yeah, we'll let this happen. So that was the deal. And then Vivi shows up and decides, hey, we're going to here's a key.
He gives him one of the 4
Yeah.
keys.
Just I found it laying down on the ground. There you go.
Convenient.
Here's a key for you.
Let me
So
ask you
that's
this
it.
real quick. What did you think of Vivi's voice?
It sounds like Vivi.
It's not bad, but I guess that's just never how I pictured him to sound.
I always pictured him to sound like a child.
Well, he still does sound like a child, but he sounds like kind of like a scampy or like a little scamp voice kind of. But
Oh, okay.
I always imagine him as like much more like meek because he's very shy in Final Fantasy IX, and I don't think he really came off as shy at all in this game. But it's probably I don't really remember what he sounded like in Kingdom Hearts 2, so it's probably better than that, where he was just like a very creepy figure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Frost says no, lightning didn't allow it. Edgar made sure lightning wasn't harmed too badly. Okay. All right. So then they have to go on to the land of naught but night.
Yes, but how to get there is you have to take this big ass bridge. So
Yep.
that is chapter 16.
Which leads us into chapter 16, Clash on Big Bridge, and it is supposed to be the big bridge from Final Fantasy V. Although it's decidedly different. But anyway, they make it to Big Bridge where they run into Eiko from Final Fantasy IX. Which I was surprised by. I don't know why, but I just wasn't expecting to run into Eiko. By the way, I used to say when I was a kid, I used to pronounce that Eco, and
I
then
did
later
too.
in life, I called it Ico. So it's like neither are correct, apparently. But apparently, she's concerned that the twins are trying to fulfill the Crimson Prophecy and not the Azure, which is the one she likes. Rich, Are you following this prophecy shit at all?
No,
Me
this
either.
makes no sense.
I don't know like which prophecy is which and what the difference is and why they're important. And is there? I kind of getting the impression maybe the crimson one is the bad one. I don't know. Anyway, she explains that the big bridge, which is like rather than one long horizontal bridge, it's like goes up at a steep angle. It's the Idolin Alexander. So, and she is apparently its gatekeeper. So she decides to, after a little bit of discussion, she decides to let them pass, and she powers up the lift and lets them go. But it's like way too fast, and there's like a scene of like Lon and Rain literally being pinned down to the ground
Yep.
as the platform rockets upward. It's kind of funny because it's like they're in jet force winds, like their mouths are like flapping and it's, I'm consistently impressed by the animation, I will say, in the scenes. But anyway, so then it cuts back to Aiko, who ends up getting kidnapped by the Plumed Knight. So at this point, I'm sort of thinking that the Plumed Knight is trying to gather all the summoners.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Because she captured Rydia. Has Yuna been captured? Or
Yes. No, she wasn't. She escaped.
okay. So I don't know why she's trying to do that, but that seems to be the deal. Anyway, the lift stops early, I guess because Aiko was kidnapped. So you got to cross the rest of the bridge on foot. And it's a very long, tedious climb. It's literally a straight path that takes forever to get through.
Yep.
And it took extra long for me because Corey changed our stack setups right before this dungeon, and it was for the worse. Like our stacks were awful. So, but anyway, so they climb up. You have to get to this part where like mithril giants slam their clubs down or jump, and it causes like these glyph waves that you have to use jump platforms to leap over. How did you find that?
Just kind of a pain in the ass.
Did you ever get into any like trouble where you just kept getting hit by the glyphs and it felt like you were kind of soft locked into it?
Nah.
I did. So apparently you were better at it than me. Eventually, there's a scene where you meet Bartz from Final Fantasy V and his chocobo, Boko. He shows you how to use the jump pads. And apparently he's looking for some shady guy who's been going around yelling his name. So, I don't know if they use the same voice actor for Bartz as they did in Dissidia, but I really enjoy the performance they do with Bartz in these games. Like he comes across as like a really like just cool dude, I guess. But anyway, so at the top you run into none other than Gilgamesh, which I think was pretty predictable given where we are.
Yep.
He has an old grudge he wants to settle with Bartz, but he can't remember why, and Bartz doesn't even recognize him. So you get into a boss fight with old Greg here. And did you have any trouble with this?
Nope. I just steamrolled him.
I did like the reference, that special attack where he can use either the Excalibur or the Excalibur.
Yeah. He hit me with the Excalibur a lot. And that was just nope, didn't do anything.
I only saw that animation once each. So ROB says it was 100 years ago. No, wait, 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that line. But you basically defeat him, and then they go their separate ways, and they reach the land of Naught But Nightmares, or Not But Night, which is chapter 17. So apparently this place is always nighttime.
Yep.
Do you want to cover the start of this one?
Yeah, let me take this one. So basically, you get to the you see the train, which weirdly enough, you could have taken the entire train.
I forgot about this part.
Yeah, so you meet up with them.
There's a long scene, which is kind of stupid, I thought, where Rain is pissed at the conductor.
Yeah.
It's like,
like
angrily chasing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, you then make it towards the Library of the Ancients. So
Also from Final Fantasy V.
Yeah. By that name, though, who do you think is going to show up in there as your character? But before we get to that, you notice that there are people there that are vampires, because there's vampires in this game now, which I find is stupid. But you're saved by the one, the only Cloud. So who is in the League of S. So he explains what happens to everybody, where people in the library are slowly being converted into vampires. You then meet Celis, who has been hired to guard the library, and then you meet Sid. So it's a Final Fantasy game. Obviously, you're going to have a Sid, a man who transferred his soul into a robot. I don't know why. So they decide to send the twins to the train graveyard, that's another Final Fantasy VII reference, to take on the Vampire Prime.
Yes. So I was excited to see Celis because she's my favorite character from 6, outside of Kefka. And although, once again, it's like it could have been anybody as far as her role, I guess.
Yeah.
Were you disappointed to see that Sid was an original character, or do you wish they had brought in like one of the Sids from another Final Fantasy?
I was thinking they were going to pull in Sid from 9, the Regent.
Why is that?
Because it's a library, and he's old, and
I guess I could see that.
Yeah, that's the only reason I was thinking that.
The library does have a bit of a Lindblom feel to it.
Yeah.
There's also some references around the library. Like I noticed a statue of Byblos, which is a monster you fight in the library in Final Fantasy V. It's cool. Anyway, so moving on, they go to the train graveyard, and this dungeon, it's cool looking. It's like one of the more visually interesting dungeons in the game, because rather than it being strictly on the ground like an FF7, it's like you're slowly climbing a bunch of train cars and like girders that have been suspended in the air. So it's like you're getting higher and higher. The weird thing is the dungeon doesn't have any music. I was like, what the hell? So I thought my game was broken for a second. But you get to the top, and then Rain is kidnapped. Luckily, she's not kidnapped for long, because it would suck to only have one character.
Yeah.
But Lon rescues her, and then they fight the Vampire Prime. Do you have any trouble with this boss?
Nope.
I think
I'm a little overpowered, which is fine.
Yeah, because I do not enjoy the game when it's challenging, if I'm being honest, or too challenging. I've run into that situation with bad stack setups. However, after you defeat the Vampire Prime, it's revealed that Rain has become a vampire herself. And again, I was impressed with the animation that they did in the scene, because it's like you actually get to see what Rain would look like as a vampire.
Yeah.
But anyway, Cloud shows up to save the day, and he throws Lon like a wooden stake. And so Lon drives it through the Vampire Prime's heart, and then all the vampires, including Rain, are turned back to normal. And of course, they also get the Shadow Key. So we're at 3 out of 4 now, I believe. So then it cuts back to the library, and I think they have like a debate here about why people are so comfortable living under the Federation rule, because they have that whole system where you can eventually get a cushy life in the castle if you do everything the Federation wants and whatnot.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting thought, and it's more deep than anything else the game has done thematically at this point, I think. So I hope they go further into that as we go. Anyway, Sid tells them that the next key is in a place called Besaid, which I am hyped about because obviously Final Fantasy X, and also Besaid is like my favorite place from Final Fantasy X. I want to live in Besaid. Mm. I know you're excited too, right, Rich?
I saw that. I was like, oh man.
But yeah, that's it for this section. Any overall thoughts before we go on to the feedback?
No. I mean, it's not super challenging. It's just kind of, this storyline is not really grabbing me still. So
I can't believe we're this far into the game and we still don't know anything about what the villains are trying to do or who they are.
Yeah, I have no clue.
We haven't seen Enix again since the beginning. I thought she was going to be an interesting character, being God and all, but
nope.
I do know that there's an intervention that I need to do that stars Enix, or Enacro or whatever it is. Anyway, let's just jump into the listener feedback. ROB, who is in chat here with us, says, I'm enjoying the game so much I went ahead and beat it. Clearly all I need to say, haha. But these set of chapters I enjoyed a lot. Loved everything to do with Vivi and Cloud and their cameos. I will say I dislike Robo Sid, but it makes sense to create a different style as he's been in every game so far. Which one do you choose? Trying not to spoil anything else, so I will just say I'm glad to finally be hitting some of the top tier Mirage transformations. A party of summons, hell yeah. And the road to 100% the game and getting the plat begins. And per a comment from the last RPG Club episode, yes, I like this more than Tactics. All right, so we got somebody who is very positive on
Yay.
WoF here. He already
Yeah.
beat it.
That's good. I'm glad some people were positive about it.
I would rather people
So-
have a good time than a bad one. So
That's right. All right, Disa. So Disa,
on
yeah,
the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah, she's done. She does not want to play this anymore. She's like, yeah, I'm done. I mean, SaGa Frontier came out, and there's no way I can push myself to sit down with this and all the amazing games I'm playing right now. It's like one of handful of RPGs I don't like. I like almost every single RPG in the universe to sit down and play. The one I don't like, unless it's a list game, which it isn't. So, yeah, Disa, I feel you, but I got to beat this one.
Listen, I'm not going to go to bat for this game necessarily, but I do have a theory. I just don't think that Disa likes highly polished modern games very much. Like anything
Maybe.
with like a lot of production value that's been made in like the last 10 years, it's not for her.
Yep.
That's just my theory though. Because it is weird to me that she would enjoy some of the games she does play, but not this one.
Yeah.
But hey, we're all different. And I don't blame her. Like, I don't think anybody should force themselves to play something they're not enjoying. So, sad to see our comrade fall on the field of battle, but alas. Okay, Frost says, yeah. Oh, wait, no. I miscopied that. Why don't you go ahead and do the next one while I go find his comment?
Okay. I was like, why are they the same? Brandon, good friend of the show, Brandon. I just completed it. A few thoughts at the top of my head. I didn't realize we were collecting 4 keys until after receiving the second key. Yeah, I get that. The big bridge is exactly what people hyperbolized FF13 to be. Yup. I was hoping for FF12 in this section, and for some reason, no luck. I didn't expect to see Vivi. I was hoping that imprisoning him would actually work. I tried it. Yeah, I wish you could too.
Brandon wants to enslave Vivi.
Yeah, and I don't really feel motivated to do any side stuff, sadly. I'm with you there. I'm not doing side stuff either. So, yeah, that can just go.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, spoiler alert for everybody. Don't get your hopes up for 12 content. I'm pretty sure the DLC Balthier Champion is like the only 12 reference.
Yeah.
Okay, we actually got a paragraph here from Frost. It says, I love this part of the game. Chapter 16 through 20 are probably the best part. Exciting times ahead. Okay, well, maybe we have something to look forward to, Rich. Goes on to say, you get 2 of my favorite Mirages, the Magitech Armor and the Vampire Prime. The Magitech Armor is OP as fuck, by the way. I don't know if you've been using it. But it has
I have.
It has a beam attack that does like 1,000, 2,000 damage. Anyway, FYI, check out the arrangement of Terra's theme when joyriding on the Magitech Armor. It's amazing. Corey put the Magitech Armor away for me for some reason, so I wasn't able to hear that myself. Continuing here, while the big bridge was just a super lame, well, big bridge, that's all it was in FF5. I hope everyone got the stealth mirror jewel there, lowers encounter rate. Oh, thank you for the tip. I'm sure I did get it, but the Gilgamesh cameo was great. He also has an intervention to check out. I love the design of the train graveyard. I agree, the train graveyard did look cool. 3 keys down, 1 to go. I did my best to split these sections up, but like a Kingdom Hearts game, 99% of the story is coming in the last 2 chapters. I kind of figured that's how it was, and I don't enjoy that style of storytelling. He's got a couple questions here. Did you notice the statue of Byblos and page 256 and Tantarian in the Tometown of the Ancients? I did notice Byblos. I don't know if I wasn't paying attention, but I didn't see those other things. But that's really cool. I might have to go back there and check it out myself, see if I can find them. Have you figured out what the Plumed Knight is doing? We are surmising that she is kidnapping summoners. Yeah. Okay, and then the last comment here. Actually, do you want to take this one, Rich, since I just read that one?
Yeah, so JS, thoughts on the section. With Vivi, Bart's, Eco, Cloud, Celis, the section had the best nostalgia cameos. Big Bridge was a little tedious. Yes, it was.
Very.
But the payoff of a boss fight with Gilgamesh was worth it. Not really, in my opinion, but okay.
Well, Gilgamesh is supposed to be funny, right? And I don't think
he's supposed to be funny.
He wasn't really funny.
Yeah.
Nothing in this game is really... I won't say that. Sometimes the stupid gags do make me laugh, but when it's not, when they don't, it's like super dumb.
Loves all the past game references with the statues in the library of the ancients. Okay, yeah, a little bit of lore and stuff in those. It's pretty nice. And the train graveyard was one of the more interesting dungeons so far in the game. I would agree with that. I
just
think
wish
we
it had
talked
music.
about that. Yes. So yeah, that's the feedback we got from the game, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for submitting your feedback, and we really appreciate it. And we, like I said, we're closing in on the end here. We got 2 more sections, so it should be interesting to see where it takes us next. But that's going to be it for the World of Final Fantasy RPG Club this week. Let's go ahead and move into the outro. And that's going to be it for episode 62. Rich, what are you and I doing next week?
You know, I thought about this long and hard. Giggity. So what I really want us to talk about is why do we play and love RPGs? So that's going to be a topic where we kind of dive in a little bit about what makes this genre special to us and why we do it and why we put ourselves through this punishing of these storylines and character development and all that fun stuff. So look forward to it.
We're sure we haven't done a topic like that before, right? It'd be hard to remember. Sometimes I think like we have like an annual cycle where we talk about the same things.
Opinions change and everything. But the thing is, though, you got to realize we have over 100 episodes.
That's true.
So,
well, if you count Golden Years, anyway.
Golden Year. Well, I have over 100 episodes.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But no, it's something that I would love to get more feedback from listeners, per se, of our own opinions.
Yeah.
I really want us to dive into some of our listener feedback for sure around this question to understand why they do it. I know we've talked about it in length with the why we love them, why we play them, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm more curious on the general public.
Okay. I think we should get some good answers from that. And Rich, you're in charge of this episode, so it'll be your job to get that feedback. So
yes, please get it into us quickly.
Yes. Okay. The RPG Club, just one more quick reminder. If you are playing along, the game is World of Final Fantasy, and the goal is to complete Chapter 20 by Sunday, May 9th.
When do we do new nominations and stuff? When's that coming?
We usually do it right after we finish covering the last section. So
okay, I was curious.
So it'll be sometime mid-late May, I guess, is when we'll start that up.
I have some nominations.
Oh boy, I think I do too.
Yep.
Okay, do you want to launch into our plugs here, Rich?
Yes, guys. Please rate and review us, and wherever you get your podcasts, Stitcher, iTunes, Google, wherever you get that, please rate and review us. Let us know how we're doing, and helps with the algorithm of getting our show noticed a little bit more. Like you said, we do have a lot of episodes, and a lot of time and effort goes in. My boy Scott puts a lot of time with various other projects he does that links together. So rate and review us so we get more popular and get more people into the community.
I would love it.
Yes.
If you do want to submit some feedback that you don't want it to be on like the review platforms or whatever, feel free to email us. Our email address is rpgafteryears@gmail.com. Or if you just want to like suggest some ideas or like ask questions or whatever, that's another place you can do that.
Yes. So another way you can support the show is through Patreon. Patreon is a great way to get early access to the episodes, ad-free episodes. So you don't have to hear me talk about, the ads again, Anchor, all that fun stuff. The Aftercast, where we talk about just random things, maybe not video game related, but what's going on in the world. That's something that we have a few of those we need to do soon. Extra reviews. There are 20 plus. Scott and Corey and Lauren do a lot of those reviews. So if your RPGs aren't really your main thing, there's a lot of other reviews out there.
I'm pretty sure Life is Strange 2 is what we're reviewing next week. and then the
Yes.
following week will be Metal Gear Solid 3. So
Nice. The RPG Club, that is becoming a very popular section that we do with the show. I'm enjoying it, where you get to nominate a game for us to play, and then we all take a vote, and the vote will decide on what's the next RPG Club. So take advantage of that and many more. You can find that at patreon.com/RPG After Years.
And by the way, while I'm thinking about it, Frost, I'm assuming you're still in the stream. I'm very aware you were due some benefits on your tier, so I will eventually get back to you on those and figure out what it is, make you pick some games out and shit. Yeah. Speaking of the chat, we stream our episodes, the recording of them, live to Twitch, usually every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And so you can find that at twitch.tv/RPG After Years. Thank you to everyone who hung out with us today.
Yes, thank you guys. Some merchandise that we do have, you can find that at redbubble.com/people/RPG After Years/explore. You can find some nice things in there to help support the show.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And if you want to be a part of the community, you should join our Discord. It's a great place to hang out and talk about all things RPGs and even off-topic, non-RPG shit. So the link to that can be found in the show notes or our pinned tweet on Twitter. And speaking of Twitter, you can find the show at RPG Years. You can find me at the Scott Spot. You can find Jay at JD Hizzle.
And you can find me at HailBlue1569.
Absolutely. And that's going to be it for the plugs for now. And that's it for episode 62. We have once again created an absolute, what could be stellar RPG that will one day see the light of day and make us millions. And we're also going downhill on the World of Final Fantasy RPG Club. So join us next time on episode 63 as we discuss why we love RPGs so damn much. But until then, I'm Scott.
And I'm Rich. And I'm Jay.
I'm Jay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.